Speaking of which, Utard and Odorin have alliances in Podiebrad, but I have nowhere to lay my head.
That makes two of us, and Podiebrad is not so far. I'd rather pass right through and keep going.
Further? Where to?
Maybe to Mielnik. I have some friends in the clergy there. By the way, I met Spinko Hasse of Hassenburg when he was still a provost there.
What? Zbingo Hasse? But he's the Archbishop of Prague, isn't he?
That's the one. It's a small world, isn't it?
They could have harnessed better horses.
How did it feel to meet your brother after so many years?
If only it were after so many years. It was the first time we saw each other.
Well, he hadn't been home for 20 years, but you're older, aren't you?
I grew up with my mother. My father took me to Rabosh later. So I'd learn how to ride horses, shoot, use a sword. In short, everything I needed.
When Godwin came up at home, what did Martin tell you about him?
His name didn't come up too often, but every time I disappointed my father, he gave me a sermon that I'd end up like my brother one day.
And how?
That depended on how I disappointed him. When I got drunk for the first time, he said Godwin had likely drunk himself to death long ago. When he saw me with some girl, he said Godwin dragged all kinds of whores to his bed. And then the silver started going missing in the fortress.
Martin was wrong about Godwin. He's not like that. I mean, I don't know what he was like when he was younger, but when I met him, he was a solid bloke. And he still is.
I expected that. But when you hear only the worst about someone all your life, it's hard for you to think otherwise.
Did your father teach you all by himself?
At his age, not a chance. The stable master taught me how to ride, the captain of the guard all about swords, and the game warden how to shoot.
And what was your father doing all that time?
Sometimes he took me hunting. For half a day he'd scold me for riding like a fence post, and that I'd cripple his horse. And also that I shot as if I was using a hoof to aim.